I hope not. He just doesn't look like a sir to me. I don't know. King Arthur maybe, but not a sir. Monty Python maybe.
Do you have a clattering coconuts guy behind him?
No.
Thank you for
Oh
getting that, by the way.
man.
Patty Yanni's role with this team at this point, is it changed at all now that he's played a little bit?
No, he's still got to work his way into being a regular guy. You don't get game fit until you play more games. And it's that last 10% of fitness sometimes that takes 90% of the time. So he's still got to work on that, and certainly his timing and so forth is something that still needs to be refined. But it was good to see him get back on the field. It's good to see him have a decent game. Those are all positives, and just gives us more options in the back for sure.
Do you look at matchups defensively when you face a team like Dallas and determine which center back pair you might use?
Yeah, a little bit. We look at when matchups are there. With Dallas right now, it's a little bit tough. I know Blas Perez returns for them, and the last time they played us here, they played really a 4-4-2. They usually prefer playing a 4-2-3-1. So how is that? Part of what we're looking at too. We're trying to build a little more out of the back, so comfortability on the ball factors into it as well. It's who's in form a little more so than anything else.
Did you make of DeAndre's run with the Stars last night?
It was okay. It was okay. I'm glad he only played the amount of minutes he played, so it makes him, good, I think, for us on Saturday. He got into it a little bit, and he got forward. He had a good opportunity, had a good look on the one shot. Should have probably done better with that, and that's the final phase of his game. I think that we're working on is trying to finish off plays, whether it's crossing plays, whether it's finishing plays where you're shooting on goal. He has the potential to get forward. He has the willingness to get forward. His timing is usually pretty good. And now he's just got to finish off those plays. Just like in our game against Chivas, he had some runs where he just, carried it a little bit too long. And once he finishes off those plays, then he will have stepped up to that next level.
From the soccer side, maybe more than the business side, but I mean, what did you make of the announcement that your league is about to grow to 24 teams by the end of the decade?
Well, the first thing I did is I did a calculation in my head. So I said 24 teams means two divisions of 12, which means you play 22 games in division. You play every team outside your division 12, so that makes 34 games. So it works out symmetrically really nice, so I'm in favor of it. But that's because of my economics and math background and symmetry.
Can you wait 7 years for that?
I don't know if it's going to take 7 years to get there. Obviously New York is ready to come on board. I think Orlando is really pushing as well, and I'm sure they have other things. But to establish a footprint in some major markets, and especially getting into the Southeast, which I'm sure is a goal of the league as well. Just enhances the TV viewership, and the more things we can do from the TV side, the better it is for our sport.
Is there enough talent to accommodate another 120 First Division soccer players up there?
Over that period of time, yeah. When you look at all the homegrowns that are starting to come out now and starting to get produced, and there's always a little, I think, in the short term, meaning in the initial year or 2 years, maybe there's a little bit of a drain of talent. But at the end of the day, then things change, and you look at look at a guy like Graham Susie right now, who's played a lot of national team games. He didn't play very much in his first year or 2 years at Kansas City, so maybe his situation would have been accelerated if expansion had been there. And at the time, maybe he got picked up and he gets on the field sooner. So there's maybe some guys who aren't going to be ready to get on the field, but there's some guys who are going to show they are ready when they get on the field.
Speaking of homegrown, should we be reading anything into the Aaron Kovar and Jordan Morris being out here more? Seems.
No, it's just a good opportunity for them to train. Obviously they both are committed to the same university for next year. That's Stanford. But we want to look at our guys. We did the same thing with DeAndre last year. We're going to train a lot with us and look and see how they fit in and see where they're at. But I think down the line in the years to come, I think you'll see more homegrowns come along, especially if the relationship between MLS and say USL, where there's like an actual second team, and that gets created. I think that'll even accelerate the homegrown situation.
Marcus looked like he was doing more today. What's his status and Michael's status?
We'll see with both of them tomorrow. You know, we had Marcus do more. We thought he was ready to do more today. So now we'll see how he recovers tomorrow, and it'll be a decision that we make tomorrow.
So is it within the realm of possibility that one of them could be starting on Saturday?
It's a possibility, yeah.
I realize you have to face Dallas in a couple of days, but I mean, what did you see in them early on that made you think they would come back to the pack a little bit?
I don't know. You know, I said that early on, and it seems to have happened. But you know, they were a team that just got off to a good roll. They had a lot of games at home in the early part of the season, which usually happens with Dallas. You know, because they're decent climate, so they try and or they tend to get more home games at the beginning of the season, and just getting those games at home, and they were on a good roll. And it's a streaky league. Eventually, everybody goes into a streak, you know, and then when they hit that streak, then so it takes some guys longer or shorter to get out of it. And Dallas historically now, when you look at them over the last few years, they've had pretty much long streaks too, you know, so it's just happened that way. But they're still a very, very talented team. You know, Ferreira was in and out during a period of time when they were going into that losing streak. They had some injuries as well. Jackson, I think, was out with a concussion for a little bit. They had yellow card situations with some players. George John was in and out of the team. Hedges was out for a while, so they were playing rotating center backs, and I think all that had an impact at the time. But you know, obviously, we expect them to be pretty healthy on Saturday.
Michel was a guy that gave you guys trouble last time around. What do you guys need to do to kind of keep him from giving you those fits?
Not let him score direct on corner kicks, that's for sure. You know, that's one. But he was obviously very dangerous for them on set pieces and free kicks. So not giving away unnecessary fouls is the usual thing, and making sure that we're organized and solid with our marking on the set pieces, and hope that he has an off day serving it.
What have you thought of how's the turf held up here this year?
It's good. It's decent. You know, it's decent. It's always great in the first year. You know, it wears a little bit in year two. You know, and then year three is sort of, it can be good or bad depending on how much use is on there, and then it's probably time for a new one. For our purposes, you know, maybe football purposes a little different, but for our purposes.
Are you guys able to use that to your advantage, the turf and kind of the playing style you guys use here?
You know, that's a tough question. I think sometimes the turf hurts us. You know, obviously, when we played Vancouver here on the grass, you know, I thought we had a pretty good game. You know, it was an exciting game, a great game for the fans to watch. And with our speed up front, having a grass surface where the ball holds up a little bit is actually beneficial to us. We're also the kind of team that likes to play on the ground, and sometimes you don't always want to play directly to feet. You want to play in the space a little bit, so grass, again, helps you there. So does it help us? Sometimes it helps us from the standpoint that we are a little more used to it than opponents coming in here. But I think we're a team that plays really well on grass because of our speed and because of our desire to want to push the ball around.
What are you guys able to do at home, you know, outside of the crowd and everything? What are you guys able to do at home that has helped you this streak here on
I think what we try and do is get off to a good start, you know, into the games, because for sure, again, for the opponent, it takes them a while to adjust to the field, to adjust to the atmosphere and the crowd and so forth. So if we can jump on them early, that's always a benefit to us. And then if you jump on them early, sometimes that means goals, but what it really means, if you put some pressure on them and dominate the game early, then they're starting to have some thoughts of, ooh, it's going to be a long night tonight, and that helps us psychologically.
Look at the pace. It'll go. Oh, it is fantastic. Absolutely sensational by the Sounders. Hey kids, come train like the first team. Join us this year at Sounders FC Youth Soccer Camps. Have fun and improve your skills. Meet players, make friends and learn from the best. Visit camps.soundersfc.com. Space is limited, so sign up today.